You see, for the left, this 30-year-old adult who chose to go to law school, Ms. Fluke, represents what they stand for. Radical feminism, dependence, subsidies, victimhood, and cultural decline. Ms. Fluke, sadly, is a casualty, a pawn of the left, which is exactly why she was asked to testify, which is why she's all over the liberal news outlets, which is why Barack Obama called her today. Have you ever heard of Brian Terry? Agent Terry was a very brave young man. He was a U.S. Border Patrol tactical team member. He was shot in the back with an AK-47 while he and other agents were in a firefight with Mexican bandits. And while he was on the ground dying from his wound, you see, the bullet severed his spine and the main artery to his heart. He managed to call for assistance. The helicopter arrived within minutes, but he died on the way to the hospital. You see, Brian Terry was only 40 years old. As I said, he was shot in the back with an AK-47. An AK-47 sold to Mexican drug smugglers at the direction of the Obama administration. The scandal's called Fast and Furious. I wonder, did President Obama ever call the Terry family? When Eric Holder was asked a few months ago during a hearing if he had called the Terry family, he said he had not. Only later did he make an attempt. Folks, there really are two Americas. The America of Miss Fluke and her Democrat advocates, and the America of Brian Terry and the others I talked about. Oh, yes, and one more thing. I want the leftists at NBC, CNN, and the other so-called news outlets who are dressed up as journalists but are nothing of the sort. I want you to understand something. You don't get to decide who the rest of us listen to. You don't get to decide who the rest of us admire. You're not going to succeed in driving Rush Limbaugh from the airwaves. I don't care how many cowardly Republicans you speak to. I don't care how many inside the Beltway pseudo-conservatives you speak to and so forth. Our nation is teetering. Everything we believe in is being undermined. The future for our children and grandchildren is perilous. And you in the media do the bidding of the very politicians who've brought us to this dire state. You don't get to dictate to us. You don't even get to influence us. Try as you might. Rush isn't going anywhere because there's tens of millions of us standing by his side. And we're not going anywhere either. You say nothing about the unconstitutional acts of this president. You say nothing of the policies that are bankrupting our nation. You do nothing to expose the lies and deceit of this administration. In fact, if you're not covering it up, you're cheering it on. This is why we have no respect for you. Why your audience and readership are plummeting and will continue to. Now, we will not let you take down Rush or anyone else. In fact, I think I speak for tens of millions of Americans when I say, you can go to hell.